Pakistan cricket at its best. 1 minute down, next minute up.
Thanks very much, everybody, for joining me once again. Shadab here, bringing you another exclusive interview. Delighted to be joined once again by the nephew of a cricketing legend, a cricketing great, an all-time great. This gentleman has played 26 Test matches and 18 ODIs for Pakistan. During his international career, he scored 850s and 2 international hundreds. His first-class career is absolutely superb, scoring nearly 13,000 runs in first-class cricket. And since stopping playing in domestic cricket in Pakistan, he's held various roles within Pakistan cricket, within selection and coaching, etc. And he's worked at the Pakistan Super League also as well. Great to be joined once again by Faisal Iqbal. Faisal, hope you're well.
Assalamu alaikum to you and to all your viewers. Yes, I am very well.
Faisal bhai, let's start with Shadab Khan's recent comments about former players. You're a former player as well. And, how much did it hurt you, the fact that he's reminding all you guys that, they won a match against India at a World Cup and you guys couldn't do that. And all your colleagues who played against India so many times during World Cup matches couldn't do that.
Well, I was actually laughing for one thing. My first laugh was he didn't realize one of the former cricketers was his father-in-law, Saklan Mushtaq, who's also sitting on one of the national television and talking about cricket. So, first of all, it straight went to his face rather than before anybody else. I'm surprised how it's been taken. Secondly, obviously, no former cricketer didn't like it at all. But the question is, that shows you one thing very clearly. When you are part of a cricket system where you have a very strong background, probably you can say a friendship group, somewhere along the line, a good connections with the coach and some of the cricket board's management, that you have been constantly seen as a blue-eyed boy in many possible ways in your selection in the team, first 11, 16, and then in the first 11. Because I understand this very well, that getting into 16 is different, and then getting into 11 is very different when you have quite a lot of competition going around. I really, really feel a lot for Sukyan Mukim, because that guy, he is an amazing talent of Pakistan. And I am also surprised about the system, especially our cricket board and selection committees and all these people who make these decisions, including the head coach and the captains, because they are part of all these selection meetings, that how come you miss these amazing talents which the world recognize. You see all the current international other country players, they talk about all these players. So they're being appreciated, and Shadab, on the other hand, coming on telly, showing his attitude, showing his body language with a performance against just a Meno team, that's what we can say, and coming and talking and showing his aggression was absolutely unbelievable. I still remember with the coaches we had, especially I'm talking about the great Javed Miandad and the legendary cricketers I played with and under with, they have always said the same thing: you respond with your bat and ball. That is the only way you can respond. You cannot respond just one-off innings or one-off spell, taking your man of the match and coming on the telly on a mic and just talking about all this nonsense. So the reason they are doing this is because they have played being in a friends group. So they have that strength behind them. And obviously they know that they've got no opposition in the team. That's why they have this mindset as well. So I think they need to be reprimanded. I remember in my last interview, I've always told you that seniors need to be reprimanded. I am surprised nobody is reprimanding them, even as all these things. I don't know what's happening. So I think Shadab was absolutely wrong.
Mohammad Yousuf has been in the news for a few topics, really. Obviously, he didn't like the fact that Shadab Khan made those comments. He also came out with some comments regarding Babar Azam and how he had to resign in his Pakistan Cricket Board role because he suggested dropping Babar Azam. And he was saying that a few people went against him and he was forced to resign. What do you think about Mohammad Yousuf's comments recently?
Well, it was a bit surprise for me and for many people, cricket fans, and obviously for former cricketers as well. Maybe some of the close mates of his might know what's happening back end, but me or somebody else who's not close, might can just say, "Okay, if you were there in the system, but then why didn't you said all that at that time?" I remember there were some news did came during that time when Saklan was head coach and Yusuf was there, that there was something going around between some senior players in the team, that maybe I heard it was something about Shine Shah Afridi at that time. If you look in the records, there might be at that time news that somebody said that he misbehaved with a couple of coaches at that time, and there were many things. This is all on record right now. You can anyone can check it, that there were controversies from the senior players with these people when they were in charge of the team, either as a batting coach, either as any capacity selector, or whatever it is. So I think they should realize that they should have said that at that time when he was resigning. He should have said that in the media, that I am resigning because of that. Maybe a lot could have saved for Pakistan cricket at that time, rather than the time's wasted by now. So these people should realize. Maybe I know they don't say it at that time because they all take a chance that maybe we can get back our seats, we can get back our designations in PCB and all that. So this is just bluffing with people's mind. I believe even as these senior players, they need to realize what goes around comes around. What they have done in their playing days with former coaches, I've been witness to many, is probably coming around in front of them. So they should feel the consequences, So this is nature.
Faisal, let's talk about player power in Pakistan cricket. We'll come back to the
Mm.
senior players shortly because there's a lot of them doing television programs at the moment. So we'll come to that in a minute. But player power has always been a problem in Pakistan cricket, as far as I know. I mean, I remember when I started watching cricket, my dad telling me about, you know, player A not liking player B and misbehaving with coaches. And so going back many, many years, obviously when you played, I'm sure it was an issue as well. And what about now? I mean, you're somebody who knows a lot about Pakistan cricket. Is it still an issue where player power is sort of rearing its ugly head again, or has it always been there, or is it because the PCB and the coaches are weak?
Uh, uh, the main reason of that player power comes, let me tell you and the viewers very clearly and categorically. The player power starts only when the cricket board gets weak. I this has been said by many legends of the eras of 80s and probably 70s and probably 90s also, that whenever the cricket board has been strong, the heads of the cricket board, strong cricket board heads came, when they were against those senior players, or whoever were in trouble in many ways, or probably bad form or whatever it is, they used to be behind them. There's an example of many, including the great Javed Miandad, the great Wasim Akram, the great many former cricketers I know, who were told to go back to domestic, show your form and fitness, and then make a comeback. I still remember Wasim Bhai did came and played one of the first class game in Karachi National Stadium. It's on the record. And then he came, made a comeback. Javed Miandad was taken a trial in a Karachi trial match between two first class teams, scored 100, and then make a comeback. So this has been in the past, that when the board wants to be against a strong players, they did that. About the grouping has always been part of it, but it became more after 90s. If you look at the history, you follow it, the grouping thing, the name came after 90s, after 92 World Cup. And then all the 90s players and all these things, you can put the puzzle in, and put all the chains hooks together, and you can find out that when it started and now where it is going. So the grouping part was started in the 90s, and then there onwards it carried on. They were so strong that they changed the coaches whenever they wanted. They changed the cricket board's chairmen. They were so strong because they were all well connected to the prime ministers and the presidents, and in that era. And then that grouping continued with the new batch of generation. So it started in the 90s, the groupings, and it has harmed cricket more than giving any help to Pakistan cricket, because we have got the amount of talent we have with our cricketers. You can give them chances and chances. They might click somewhere or the other. That's where the discrimination part comes in, that, certain players given less chances, certain players giving more chances. And then the politics goes around in the group for the players who they like and who they don't like, kind of a thing going on. So this is all part of a grouping pattern. It's a pattern. Sometimes you hear the names of roti group, chai group, khana group, this group. It's just one of the names. And when you name them, while interviewing and ask them any of them, then they just get irritated that why you're asking me such a questions. We just go out for food and blah 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 and all this nonsense. But inside their heart, they know that they do all this grouping. You still remember one of the interviews about Yunus Khan, Javed Miandad, and many who've been there, was a revolt against them by a group of people in the team. Recent, the Yunus Khan one, I was part of those tours. When that incident happened, I was part of the tours. Just before that tour, I got dropped. I knew that something was cooking, and I knew exactly who those 9 to 10, 11 players were at that time, because I can see it happening there and then. There were mistakes from both ends, fair enough. But I knew the strong group was so strong that they did what they wanted to do. There's everything is there on record. You can see who took the Quran from him, who took that. And now all those people are sitting on the television and talking about Pakistan cricket rights and wrongs and what is. I am absolutely in a shock about all of them. And if anyone like me or anyone just comes in and say all that, they will all form the same group together and come back to me or to anyone. I am least bothered about. They can come back to me. I'm a very different person now. I will go back at them one by one. It's just something different. But now we will not get bullied with all these groups. They are actually on television right now and bullying Pakistan cricket in their same way, but in a different manner, by sitting in the studios. So you need to make sure, and everyone need to make sure, to find out these people and take their history out and tell them that these people, because of all them, this Pakistan cricket is in this position. They put the seed, and now the consequences are there.
Just on that topic, Faisal, I mean, I don't watch all of the television programs. Quite often, I'm sent clips, and I watch the programs now and then. But one of the things that surprises me is that you get some former players making all these suggestions that this is wrong, that's wrong, this should be done, that should be done. And I'm thinking, hang on, you worked for the Pakistan Cricket Board, you worked
There
for
you
a
go.
few years, you worked for so many months. Why didn't you do it then?
Because they knew that they tried. They understand, because if you look at their history, they were part of the groups as well. They were all in the same groups. Now when they're in the coaching role, they can see the same thing happening with them as well. The new group is so strong that their own group cannot handle them, because there's a saying, when you're playing you have different powers, but when you're not playing you are some sort of powerless. So there's a politics going around at backhand in Pakistan cricket from these lots as well. They are manipulating and polluting the system by doing all that. Just sitting on the television wants rating. They all just want rating, and everything is just destroying Pakistan cricket. If someone uses common sense and look at all this thing on a bigger picture, then you can just easily point out what is the problem, what is the root cause, and who are the individuals, what is happening because of them. So I still believe they are the ones who needs to be. Unfortunately, the problem is the people who ask the questions with them are also their friends. Let me be very brutal at it. They can't ask these questions with them. If they are so honest with their jobs, have some guts, ask them what they have done. Ask them each and everything. Why you just putting a marshmallow in front of them and showing them that this was not much of a problem. I'm surprised. I was listening. Somebody sent me a clip of Mohammad Yousuf. He's a good friend of mine. Was sitting on a telly. He's always been an opening batter with off spin bowling. He's just recently criticizing Saim Ayub on his bowling. I was shocked to hear that his wickets are not useful for us if he can't score. Fine, fair enough. And look at the person who's saying it, who have played all his cricket like that. If you take the stats were good by the end of finishing career. But if you look all of their stats time to time, you will be surprised to see how they played those games between without any performances. They sometimes plate performances as a batter and use bowling as a scapegoat, or use bowling and batting as a scapegoat. So it's all there. I would be so happy to be an anchor of a program, and I want to sit in front of all of them. I know what questions to be asked. Then you will see the reaction. So I'm very surprised. They are just fooling Pakistani fans. They all are fooling, sitting in front of the TV, because they all are friends with each other. They know how to pollute the game. I'm sorry, I'm very brutal, but this is actually the root cause, Sajbhai. Only a person who knows can tell you this, that this is the root cause. Rest is all you are fooling people, fooling Pakistan cricket fans. And Pakistan Cricket Board is weak that, you letting. I just quickly give you an example. Azhar Mahmood recently been part of Pakistan Cricket Board in so many designations, sitting on telly and talking about, words of Pakistan cricket. I am so shocked and surprised. How can you guys can talk? Salman sitting on was being part of a head coach, talking nonsense. I'm sorry to say, taking names of players was a bit shocking. You're sitting on television and you're mocking these players, and then you're saying, no, it was just a fun. No, just take it on yourself. How the fans will feel. So everyone is part of this destruction of Pakistan cricket. Sorry to say, this is the reality, unfortunately. Then the same person was talking about the performances of the player who himself was being a head coach of all these players just a little bit of back. So this is just nonsense. I'm surprised. Some of them are still part of Pakistan Cricket Board in different capacities, are sitting on telly, including Misbah doing some commentary with Indian channels, and a couple of others are sitting. You can see them. They're working with PCB, and they're saying what they want to say. How? Why? Why not they're implementing when they've given the task? Why not they doing? And if they're doing it, why not people are taking their mics and asking them the questions? So it's all part of a polluted system. No one can sort it out unless, and if the current chairman, Mohsin Naqvi, cannot sort it, then I'm sorry to say no one will ever do in future.
So just a couple of questions regarding the T20 World Cup. Firstly, about Babar Azam. There's a lot of discussion about him, his batting position, the way he's batting, etc., his form. Mike Esson recently at a press conference said that his strike rate in the power play isn't good enough, and then obviously he didn't bat in the last game. Is he just in the side for his fielding?
Well, I honestly speaking, I really feel sad about Babar on one end, but on the other hand, I don't feel sad about him because it's his own mistake. And then it comes to the cricket board that they are so weak, rather than dropping him, what they have done previously, just a while I told you about the former legends, why they were not doing it. Then it comes to all these talks, then they all just come together. They're just waiting for him to score 50 by giving him so many chances. How? Why? You can't do it with anyone. If someone is with low confidence on international cricket, it's common sense. He cannot be consistent with his performance. This is international cricket. You have to have a positive mind to score runs or to get wickets. You cannot, they cannot say, oh, when they will score in international cricket or get in international cricket, they will gain their confidence. No, it will not, because inside in their hearts, they're not, the confidence level is not there to score hundreds and 5 wickets, which you get by playing domestic cricket. This is simple common sense, Sajbhai. They all know it, but I don't know why doing so. I blame Babar more than anybody else, because he himself don't want to get out from the team. He's himself is putting pressure on current captain Salman Ali Agha, because I feel sad for Salman Ali Agha, because he is in a position where he wants to survive right now. He's such a great talent, but because of all this pressure behind him, it's affecting his performance too. But still, he's trying his best. So I feel it's very unfair on Salman Ali Agha also to put him in a spotlight, in a position where he shouldn't be at the moment. This decision should be done by the cricket board to support the captain, that at least he can have a team where he can play a tournament or a World Cup or an ICC event. So I look at things very clearly. I know all my former cricketers sitting in the telly can understand what I'm saying right now. It's an unfair, with captain also, to put him under pressure. Coach, I'm surprised. Why is he doing it? Why not sending him into domestic cricket? What's the reason of having some sort of a camp for 5-10 days of showing on telly that, we are having a match scenario practice and all that? oh, they are hitting shots and sixes and making runs. What's happening in the match game when you're going in the actual series and tournament? Nothing. This is all artificial, fake makeup kind of a thing, you can say. You can't just put anything and then say, okay, this will going to happen. No, the only way you grind and improve is by only playing domestic cricket in any of format you want to play. I am very surprised that how come Babar has not taken decision. He himself is to be blamed, just to end my conversation with him.
And finally, Faisal, we've seen some. Well, first of all, we've seen Mohammad Rizwan drop from the T20 squad, not make it to the World Cup at all. We've seen Shaheen Shafidi struggling. He's been dropped. Faisal Salman didn't play the first few matches. He was due to play against New Zealand, but that obviously got rained off. There seems to be a lot of chopping and changing, and the best sides in this tournament in the T20 World Cup seem to have fixed teams. They seem to know their best 11s, but unfortunately, Pakistan seem to have come into the tournament not knowing their best 11. It's a little bit worrying, isn't it?
They knew this will going to happen. Even a 10-year-old cricket following fan can tell you this right now. They knew this will going to happen. You cannot perform with players who are out of form. You cannot just say that their past previous performances can give them some sort of a magic wand in their hand and they can just do it. No, like I said previously, if you don't have that confidence of playing and performing for a national team, there's a difference between a franchise cricket and the national team. You can see it right in front of you. That Babar is a prime example that he's so low that he can't perform franchise cricket, which was a less pressured. And then what's happening in international cricket is right there. He himself is to be blamed. All these seniors who you just took the name, they themselves is to be blamed. If they perform consistently or at least somewhat after games, can you tell me they can ever be dropped from there? The only reason they are dropped because you look at the stats, they have been failed in many of the innings and in the games. And that's where the heads then sit down and will think about it, what to do now with them. Then they've been dropped from as an opener to bring in the middle order or the lower middle order. It's then it starts about accommodating them. And that doesn't, what's the reason of having the selection committee and having a list of 10 openers with them, 10 middle orders with them, 10 spinners with them? You always have a backup players. So when you have a backup players, then drop them and put the backup players in. Why you're scared of thinking, oh, when we'll drop, then the selection committee is not doing its work. I know I've been part of the selection committee. It's just a basic thing. You have 10 openers written with your place, middle orders, lower middle orders, power hitters. If A will going to get unfit, I'm going to replace him with the B. It's a simple thing, simple basic selection. So why they're not implementing them? That's a huge question mark on their credibility also. That why either they don't have faith and confidence on these players. We have such a good players. I've given you recent example of Sufyan Mukim. These under 19 players are playing amazingly right now. The Shaheens, we have got great. You make names when you give them opportunity. You just can't say a new player who cannot make his name unless he's not in the field. So the decision makers are the one who are the responsible of this downfall of Pakistan cricket. The decision making is very poor and very low for every decision maker who has been part of Pakistan team right now. Now, who they are, we all know it very well. If they don't have confidence, if they were happy, oh, Babar is out of form, let's bring Fakhar in. Fakhar is out of form, let's bring Babar in. Or then put him in opener, put him in middle order. This is after so long we had the top 3 best in the modern day cricket, what we were been talking from years, that we are far behind in T20 format of first power play usage. At least now we've got the top 3 who are playing like that, because when you play in that style, you will have an opportunity of getting failed as well. So why taking those couple of failures? And I see some of the seniors then talking rubbish about those couple of failures for these new players, but they were more happy to say that Babar can play, Fakhar can play, Shaheen can play, Rizwan can play. I don't know what is happening right now. The only thing I can say is they all are pollute in their mind. They know what is right and wrong, and they are not fair with Pakistan cricket in their decision making.
Salman, many thanks for your time. Always appreciate your forthright and honest views, and inshallah we'll catch up in due course. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. You're welcome, Sajbhai.